Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Well, 2 weeks into this baseball season, the Tigers have avoided the wet stuff until tonight. But fear not, Mother Nature has decided to shine upon Comerica Park. The tarp is coming off the field. They are going to get ready for baseball tonight. Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers will tip off here tonight against the White Sox at approximately 7:15. Welcome inside the ballpark tonight, Chicago and Detroit, Game 1 in this 3-game weekend series. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for Game 1 in this, I guess, pivotal early season series between these two teams. And, Ron, I guess the marquee matchup tonight is Burley and Verlander, two of the best pitchers in all of baseball, going at it in this one.
And no doubt about that. And a couple of guys that get it done in different ways. If you're Burley, he has not lost to the Tigers since 2007. He's a touch and field guy. Good breaking balls, throws lots of changeup, spots his fastball very, very well. When you start talking about Verlander, we're talking about one of the premier power pitchers in the game of baseball. And he also figured out a few things the last year or so against the Chicago White Sox because he really has dominated them in that span of 2 years.
And the other thing on Verlander, Ron, is the fact that he has not gotten a whole lot of offensive support in his last two starts. Just 2 runs of support, so he's had to really be on top of his game.
Well, let's hope that at the top of that batting order today with Jackson and also Rayburn at the top, they can start to get on base a little bit more efficient, and that would create more opportunities for the big fella because we know the kind of damage that Cabrera can do.
Well, we thought coming into the season the Chicago White Sox might have a pretty good bullpen, and that really has been one of their Achilles' heels. A lot of blown saves this year. They can't figure out who's closing games, and we'll see how much of an important part that plays in this series.
Well, they would be in first place if they had someone that was closing games. Matt Thornton, one of the best setup men in all of baseball of the last couple of years. As a matter of fact, he made the All-Star team last year. He has not been able to get it done. Chris Sale, the youngster, he was pitching in college this time of year last year. They got Sergio Santos. They might allow him to close, but you get an idea of the bullpen woes they have. They've blown 6 saves already this year.
All right, now when the Tigers and the White Sox get together, it is usually a very spirited series. Now, the Tigers have won 6 straight against the Chicago team in 8 of their last 9. The question is, we're here in the month of April, and to Brandon Inge, is it too early to call this a statement series?
It's never too early, not against them, especially anyone in our division. But the White Sox have always been someone who've given us some fits a time or two. So coming into our house, starting off the series, it's better that they come here first because if we get a little momentum started here at our place and then going into their series, which is always tough to beat them there, it may be a little bit easier for us. So winning here tonight is going to be important for us.
All right, the Tigers hopefully can get a victory here in this one and make it 7 straight against the Chicago White Sox. Game 1 of the series coming up. In the meantime, we send you back to the Call Sam Studios now, and here's Ryan Field. America Bank, strength and stability since 1849. Dodge, visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Arby's Junior Buffalo Chicken Sandwich, new to Arby's Value Menu. Hurry, available for a limited time only. Back here at Comerica Park as we get you ready for the White Sox and the Tigers. And recently, Rob, the Tigers have really handled the White Sox in this series, especially in the last 9 games.
Well, you talk about the winning 8 of 9. That's pretty special because you look back a few years and the White Sox have kind of had their way against Detroit, whether it be here at Comerica Park or whether it be in the Windy City. So it's good that the pitching has shown up and pitched a lot better, and that's the reason why they've won the games. You see the earned run averages at the bottom, 6-11 versus 3-11. That tells the story.
So the Tigers hoping to get the offense going on this homestand. Brandon Inge and the rest of the Tigers on a chilly night here at Comerica. Game 1, Tigers and Sox coming up.
Well, Juan Pierre stole 68 bases last year, and with his club struggling, as you mentioned, losing 7 in a row, he took it upon himself last night. He bunted, his very first time up. There was an errant throw down the right field line. He ended up on third base, and Omar Vizquel, who was batting second in last night's game, he was able to deliver to drive Juan Pierre home. So it's Juan Pierre again in the third inning. He steals a base, and Juan Pierre by himself single-handedly willed them to a victory in last night's game. He's awfully special to their offense.
And so Juan Pierre is in the lineup tonight, leading it off for Ozzie Guillen. And Pierre batting .279 this season with 6 RBIs. Meanwhile, Austin Jackson trying to bust out an early season slump. And for Austin, it was somewhat of a struggle on this recent road trip. But Austin hoping to get things turned around beginning here tonight at Comerica Park. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get yourself a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Well, Justin Verlander, despite the cold weather tonight, will make the start. It'll be his 4th of the season, and for Verlander, not the optimal pitching weather here, Rod, considering the fact that he has outstanding secondary pitches, and it's something I guess he had to deal with on opening day in New York, too.
Well, I think Verlander's got that kind of mindset now that he's the ace of this staff. There's no question about that. He knows he's up against a very tough team tonight in the Chicago White Sox, and even though he's had success against them the last couple of years, he will not take that for granted. He knows he has to be at his best tonight.
Meanwhile, Justin Verlander has really picked up the pace against Chicago. In the first couple of years of his career, he really struggled against this White Sox team, but of late, the numbers have really turned around.
Well, 5-0 with a 1.73 earned run average. I think what he learned how to do was he learned how to pitch against the White Sox. The White Sox have a lethal fastball hitting team. Verlander has a good fastball, but on occasion his fastball would straighten out and they would hit it. But when he started mixing in breaking balls and changeups, that's where he went to 5-0 with the very outstanding earned run average. And, of course, all the other numbers are really, really good. Let's take a look at the Tigers tonight defensively. They'll be behind Verlander in this ball game. In the outfield, you've got Brennan Bosch, who has really had a nice start to his season. Jackson still trying to pick it up. Wells, he gets most of the nods against left-handers. The infield reads Rayburn at second base, and Avila is behind the plate. The other 3, they pretty much play their spots every night.
Well, the last time the Tigers saw these guys, last time the Tigers were home against the Texas Rangers, the Tigers had some walk-off wins, and so hopefully that will carry over into this game here tonight.
Well, it's no secret that the Tigers played their best baseball here at Comerica Park. They did that last year while they kind of stubbed their toe on the road, but Miguel Cabrera seems to be right in the center of just about every rally the Tigers have had all season, and then Brandon Inns chipped in with a walk-off home run on the final day of the homestand, and that was a pretty nice flight out to Oakland on the West Coast.
It was also a lot warmer those days, too, but it's a little bit chilly tonight. That's okay. We have baseball. There was, for a while here, we were wondering if we would play here tonight, but looks like the wet stuff is holding off right now. The field looks to be in great shape, and the Tigers, albeit bundled up, are ready to play baseball here tonight against the Chicago White Sox. And Heather Navazny and her staff working overtime because when we got to the park, the tarp was on the field. A steady rain, although it wasn't a heavy rain, still a steady rain was falling here at Comerica, and the field looking to be in great shape here tonight. Well, Justin Verlander is going to take the mound here tonight. The last time we saw him in Oakland, we saw something, Rod, that you don't normally see a pitcher on the mound do, and he's taken a lot of ribbing for it.
Well, I've never seen it before in my 34 years of baseball. What Verlander did was he was thinking about throwing over to first base. His feet kind of got tangled in the dirt. Therefore, he continued to deliver the ball toward home plate with De Jesus being the batter. They didn't know what to call it at first. They called it an error initially. And then they came back, and John Hirschbeck, who was a home plate umpire that night, they called it a wild pitch and a balk on Verlander. Simply one of the wildest deliveries or pickoffs you'll ever see.
It actually looked like he was he had a mind freeze at that time, a brain cramp, and he just threw it at the batter. But one of the lighthearted moments, certainly early on in this season for the Detroit Tigers. So Verlander trying to keep warm here, getting ready for his start. He will be opposed by Mark Burley, who is I guess not one of the most overpowering pitchers in this game. There's no question about that. And when you look at these two guys, Rod, they certainly get it done in different ways.
Well, Burley's kind of like a poor man's Greg Maddux. If you stay with me here for a moment. Maddux, of course, is going to the Hall of Fame. But Burley, 200 innings every single year, touch and field, throws lots of strikes. He works very quick. He's won a couple Gold Gloves. He's just a really good pitcher.
And Verlander and the Tigers have taken the field here tonight as we get you ready for baseball. Game one in this early season showdown between a couple of teams that are expected before this season is over to be battling for the Central Division crown. Ozzie Guillen's team coming in with a record of 8-11. They broke a 7-game losing streak in last night's game. The Tigers, of course, taking 2 out of 3 in Seattle coming into this one here tonight. Here's the scouting report on Justin Verlander, brought to you by Scott's Lawn Pro.
Well, we all know that Verlander has dominant stuff. The fastball anywhere from 95 to 100 miles an hour, and I'm talking about 110 pitches into the ball game. But what sets him apart from most power guys is the above-average curveball that he will feature here tonight. And when you've got those two pitches, you can walk around with a lot of swagger, and JV, he does that.
Meanwhile, Juan Pierre getting set to lead things off for the Chicago team that offensively has not really performed well. We talked about that in their last 10 games. They are batting .202, and there's just way too much talent in this starting lineup, Rod, for that to continue throughout the course of this year.
You know, to their defense, in the last 10 days or so, they've seen some all-star pitchers. They've seen Weaver in L.A. They've seen Heron in L.A. They ran into Price down in Tampa, along with James Shields. And now they got to look at Verlander and Scherzer the next couple of days. So this is the big leagues. They're not making any excuses, but they're running into some all-stars this week.
Ozzie Guillen looks like he'd rather be on a beach in Maui right now than the dugout. He has the towel around his head. He's got the hoodie on, and Ozzie Guillen at 6:08 and 5:46 in his 8th season as the skipper of the Chicago White Sox. So, after about a 15-16 minute delay, we will have baseball here tonight. It'll be Juan Pierre, Omar Vizquel, and Carlos Quentin leading it off against Justin Verlander. And here's our first pitch of the ball game tonight. It's a strike called on Juan Pierre.
He's in a bunting mood these days. He had 2 bunt base hits last night down in Tampa.
And Pierre batting .275. It is 41 degrees at game time here tonight. Verlander missing outside, but they say he went around down at third base. Lance Barksdale says 0-2. The umpires as well all bundled up this evening. Pretty close. And Verlander has him set up now. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Bounced one in, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pierre is just 3 for his last 20. He led Major League Baseball in stolen bases last year with 68, so that gives you an idea of what kind of havoc he can wreak when he gets aboard. Bouncing ball going foul down the first base line.
Pierre also one of those guys that usually does not strike out. He puts the ball in play.
And in his career, 4 for 11 against Justin Verlander. One and 2 on Juan Pierre, just underway here at Comerica Park after a bit of a delay tonight. And he pops that one back out of play. Pierre is staying alive. 1 and 2 the count remains.
That's one of the things that we have seen with this White Sox team against Verlander. Not so much last year, but the first couple of years that he went up against him, they just had a knack of fouling off those 2-strike pitches, and that would really rack his pitch count up.
Verlander trying to avoid that this year and has done at times a good job of that. Here's a slow roller foul as again Pierre whacks at it to stay alive.
How about those last 3 swings?
Not pretty.
I mean, but he's still up there and still alive. You don't teach this at home.
But he lives for another pitch. And here it comes. Another foul. So this is exactly what Verlander didn't want and exactly what Pierre wanted.
Throw the fastball up around his letters. It's a pitch that more than likely he cannot get on top of, and he might pop it up into foul territory or fair territory is what you want.
7 pitches so far. Here's the 8th, and it's tapped right at home plate. Foul. Vizquel to follow, and then Carlos Quentin. A little bit of a breeze tonight, not a whole lot. We mentioned it is chilly at 41 degrees. There's the veteran Vizquel waiting on deck, getting a good look at what Verlander is featuring tonight, courtesy of Pierre. And a swing and a miss, and Justin finally takes care of him at 97 on the gun.
Easy gas at the knees. At that velocity, unhittable pitch for Pierre. Unhittable. Take a look at it in Foxborough. Downhill.
Here is Vizquel, the veteran, who just continues to have a sparkling career. Vizquel will turn 44 on Sunday.
He's hitting 421, dude.
And he's 43 years old. Really impressive.
You know, they brought
a Hall
him,
of Fame type guy.
They brought him over here to really tutor Alexi Ramirez, who is the starting shortstop, getting the night off because his numbers aren't good against Verlander. And all Vizquel has done is parlay that into some stellar play for the last year and a half.
Verlander backs him out of there. Well, it's impressive. And obviously his heyday was his time in Cleveland when he played on 6 different playoff teams there.
Softest hands I've ever seen at the shortstop position.
Now the 2-1. 3-1 on Omar Vizquel. 2,855 games. Tonight he actually ties Robin Yount for 14th all time in games played. And he pops one up. Shallow right field. Backing up the second baseman Rayburn, but Casper Wells makes the play. 2 gone.
Verlander comes in with a losing record. He's won 1. He has lost a couple, but you get an idea by looking at the earned run average. There has not been a whole lot of run support, and he's also held the opponents to a 200 batting average right at the Mendoza line.
So we'll see if the Tigers can get him some runs tonight. They have given him just 2 in his last 2 starts as Carlos Quentin steps in. And he sends one high in the air toward left center field. Brennan Bosch going back, and that is that for Chicago. A 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first. Here is the Tigers starting lineup brought to you by Big Boy. Jackson, Rayburn, and Ordonez at the top. Cabrera's at first base, followed by Peralta. Bosch in left field tonight. In Javila and Wells round out your starting lineup. Austin Jackson stepping in now as the Tigers try and get it going offensively here. Jackson, Rayburn, and Maglio facing the quick-working Mark Burley, a 32-year-old out of St. Charles, Missouri. And it would be good to see A.J. get it going here on this homestand. The Tigers certainly need his bat to get perked up a little bit. Burley missing inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 for 25 on the road trip for Jackson. Here is Burley's 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Jackson at 157 this season. 1 home run. Yet he's put up pretty good numbers against Burley. 4 for 6. Even at now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. Burley has his first strikeout of the game. The Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Mark Burley. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Burley is not known as a strikeout pitcher. However, he has a great feel for pitching. He will add and subtract on all 4 of the pitches that he features: the fastball, the curve, the slider, and the changeup. And he is their ace. He has started opening day the last several years for the White Sox.
Here's Ryan Rayburn. Yeah, Burley now has started 9 straight. Well, he has 9 opening day assignments, which is
the record.
The most, yeah, in White Sox history. Fouled off the mask of Pierzynski.
Very seldom will he get to 90 miles an hour. Every sign that A.J. Pierzynski puts down here tonight, Burley will simply throw that pitch. He has that kind of confidence in his catchers. But he really works both sides of the plate, and he stays south of the knees.
Do you remember ever seeing him shake off his catcher?
No.
It's amazing with which the speed he works. 2-1.
Ultimate confidence in the game plan that's been put together.
And he misses high. 3-1 on Rayburn.
I've never ever heard of another pitcher in the 34 years I've been in baseball that puts down the sign does the catcher and the pitcher throws that pitch every single pitch.
Fly ball, right field, hit pretty well. Quentin going back to the warning track, to the wall to make the catch.
Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox defensively. It's always presented by Tim Hortons. In the outfield is Pierre, it's Rios, it's Quentin, it's Morrell, Vizquel, Beckham, and Konerko at first. And you know by now the battery here is Burley and Pierzynski.
Here's Maglio Ordonez. Ordonez back in the lineup in this one. Not really had a whole lot of success against Mark Burley. 1 for 18. He's had Mags' number over the years. Of course, they were teammates at one time when Maglio was playing on the south side of Chicago. The 2-0 pitch. Ordonez at 182. Jim Leland saying before the game that it's kind of a touch and feel thing with Maglio. We'll see how he feels when he comes to the ballpark every day as to whether or not he'll play. And he believes that once the weather warms up, that ankle won't be quite as sore as it gets in the middle of games. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And a strike call, 3-2.
It's going to be a long night for some of these Tigers right-handed hitters if Burley's going to get that pitch.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. That is popped up. Foul ground, third base side, and Morrell makes the play, and the Tigers go 1-2-3. So both starters with a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the second here at Comerica Park. No score. Comerica Park in a scoreless game, a game between two outstanding pitchers, Verlander and Burley, and they've each gone 1-2-3. And Justin back to the hill in the second, facing some power coming up here, led off by Paul Konerko.
Konerko has not had a lot of success against Verlander in his career, but Konerko's had a tremendous career. And you have to be careful when throwing him fastballs. He's got a really quick bat on fastballs.
Konerko done in Rios, facing Verlander here in the second. Justin threw 15 pitches in that first inning. And he threw a lot of fastballs. In fact, 9 of his first 15 pitches were 95 or more. So he has come out throwing the heat. Konerko with 4 home runs in the early going. And he taps the first one foul off his foot. Good luck with that on a night like tonight. That has to hurt. And Konerko's body language is not good.
He's got that protector that goes all the way from the instep all the way up to the knee, and somehow that little ball found an open spot.
He is still hurting. And they're trying to get him as much time as possible here to try and get his feeling back. 1 strike on Konerko. His 15 RBIs is good for top 5 in the league. In fact, it's 4th right now in the American League. So the start he has gotten off to has been a really good one this year. Verlander waiting patiently. And the 0-1. Backed him out of there. Konerko this year had at least 1 RBI in his team's first 7 consecutive games. Nobody had ever done that in White Sox history. Swing and a miss. 1-2. And on the surface, when you look at a 4 and 5 of Konerko and Dunn as the summer progresses, that should be a pretty good duo.
About 80 home runs and 200 driven in between the two if they stay healthy. And that's because they've done it just about every year, that those kinds of numbers. That's numbers combined, of course.
1-2. Breaking ball fouled off. These two teams will see each other 3 times over this weekend. The first time they will meet this year. Of course, they will have a summer full of pretty good battles. Jim Leland's team and Ozzie Guillen's team usually have a spirited series when they get together, and many feel that before it's over, these two teams battle for the Central Division title. They've both gotten off to slower starts than anticipated. Bouncing ball to short. Routine there for Johnny Peralta. 1 gone. So Verlander has gotten a ground ball, a couple of fly balls, and a strikeout to start this one. Here comes Adam Dunn.
Adam Dunn off to a little bit of a slow start in the American League, and of course he's now the designated hitter. Not to make any excuses, but it might have something to do with the slow start.
And there's the shift that they employ defensively when he's up there. Dunn batting just 178. Wave and a miss, 0-2.
Verlander could probably throw his fastball up there all night long, and it will be very difficult for Dunn to catch up to that pitch. Dunn loves the ball down and in, just as most left-handers do.
Dunn has 1 hit and 4 at-bats against Verlander. It's a homer.
Imagine
Not
that.
this time. See you later, strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Justin.
JV come out here tonight with a real firm fastball, and he's throwing a lot harder here early in this game, and I wonder if the weather has anything to do with that, because it's a real cold, chilly night. The endurance will be there all night for Verlander. Therefore, that fastball up to 96, 97 miles an hour already.
Normally in the first inning, he's at about 93, 94, isn't he?
That's when he's at his best, too. He's got a little movement, throwing lots of strikes, pitching to a little contact. That allows him to pitch deeper into games.
Alex Rios, the batter. 176 start for Rios. Hasn't homered yet.
Where Rios starts his hands, and I'm not saying he's not going to do it, but it's almost impossible to catch up to a 98-mile-per-hour fastball from as low as where your hands are. He does bring them up slightly when the ball's on its way, but still, to start from that area, very few do. I mean, they're right around his belt buckle.
Popped him up. Right side of the infield. Cabrera calling for it. And Verlander has another 1, 2, 3 inning. 1.5 in the books here at Comerica tonight. No score. Back here at a chilly Comerica Park tonight as we go to the bottom of the second inning in a scoreless game. This game, as we anticipated early on at least, being dominated by the two starters. Miguel Cabrera leads it off. In a scoreless contest, it'll be Cabrera, Peralta, and then Brennan Bosch facing lefty Mark Burley. The Tigers went 1, 2, 3 in that first inning. And Cabrera looks at a strike call. Need to correct some numbers I gave you last half inning. It's actually Cabrera that has struggled against Burley, not Ordonez. Cabby 1 for 18 against the left-hander from Chicago. And Miguel still off to a really good start this year. 333. He has really, in some ways, carried that Tigers offense. The 2-1 is hammered into left field. A base hit out of the reach of the third baseman Morel. And the leadoff man out for the Tigers. Our first hit of the game for either side. So former numbers really don't matter in that at bat.
Well, 2-1 count, and Burley threw a changeup that stayed up in the strike zone, and you really can't get Cabrera out by throwing him strikes. Here's a changeup. It's up, and he stays back long enough with the hands to generate some bat speed.
Here's Johnny Peralta with the leadoff man on. Peralta at 250 this year, and he swings in the first and drives it to center field. Rios on the run, diving, can't get it, and it rolls by him all the way to the wall. Here comes Cabrera rounding third. They're going to send him home. Peralta is on his way to third. He will stop there, and the Tigers have the lead. Rios stretched out, and once it got by him, it was off to the races.
Well, first pitch swinging was, and this ball, as it got into center field, it just started slicing on Rios. And once he left his feet and didn't come up cleanly with the play, there was no one to help him, and that's why Cabrera able to come home and score.
So the big fella chugging around the bag.
Cruising.
Cruising. Burst of speed. And now the oxygen. 1-0 Tigers. Bosch swinging on the first. Skies one to deep center. Peralta will tag and come in to score on this one. And Brennan Bosch has an RBI. And the Tigers quickly get a 2-spot. Bosch gets his 12th RBI of the season. So Rios stretching out to try and get that baseball. Once it got by him, it eventually leads to 2 Tigers runs. Base is empty now. 1 out for Brandon Inge. Ball 1 to Brandon. Well, Brandon also trying to get it going. Tigers have a couple of guys in their lineup that the hope is once they get heated up will certainly help. And Brandon can provide some of that power that the Tigers will certainly need. But he is off to a 2-0-3 start. The 2-0. It really doesn't matter the situation, the inning, the count. Burley just gets it and throws it.
Works very quick, very efficient. And usually when you work with this kind of effectiveness and quickness and you throw lots of strikes, your defense makes real nice plays behind you.
3-1 pitch down the right field line and headed back to the seats.
So what you may see some of the Tigers do on occasion with Burley, and it really doesn't work all that well, is every now and then you step out, you take your time to try to slow him down to get him out of his rhythm.
Alex Avila waiting on deck. Bouncing ball to short. Right at Vizquel, and Inge is out of there.
This is what you can do with an 83-mile-per-hour fastball if you've got a little movement with it. Take a look at this last pitch. It's a cut fastball. It looks like it's right down the middle, and all of a sudden it just creeps in on the hands of Inge. You don't have to throw 90 miles an hour to be effective up here, and Burley's displayed that.
Mark Burley has had 10 straight years of at least 30 starts and at least 200 innings. And if that doesn't qualify as a workhorse, then nothing does. Played in 4 All-Star games. Avila with 2 outs. Looks at ball 1. Alex at 267, had 4 hits on the recent road trip. And with the injury to Victor Martinez, we'll see the bulk of playing time, even against left-handed pitchers like Burley here tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex stepping out, trying to slow down Burley. 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leland said before the game today that he talked to Victor Martinez, and the soreness and the groin problem that Victor has is starting to dissipate a little bit. He's still a ways from coming back, but the good news is that it's getting better each day. And that certainly is a critical bat in their lineup. Wave and a miss. Sevilla goes down, and that's all for Detroit. Second strikeout for Mr. Burley. Tigers get a couple of runs, though, as we go to the 3rd. now. Gracie,
Mario.
good to see you, man.
Hello, Rod. How are you guys? What's going on?
Well, Mark Grace, thanks for asking, Mark. We're about to ask you the same thing. You're in town for Saturday baseball.
Tomorrow's game, yeah, 4 o'clock start.
Now, here's the impressive thing about you. You are the analyst for the Arizona Diamondbacks, where it's about 90 to 100 degrees right now.
It's
Yet,
wonderful.
Here we are, 40 degrees, no jacket or anything.
Well, it's only because I'm too dumb to pack a coat to come to Detroit.
I
actually thought it was going to be a little nicer. The 4-day forecast was a little nicer than this. God, it is chilly out there.
That's all right. We have baseball tonight, and we have two really good teams, Mark, that have gotten off to a bit of a slow start. Your thoughts on what it's looked like in the Central so far this year, because it's kind of upside down right now.
Yeah, who would have thought Cleveland and Kansas City would be the top two teams? But I think the two teams that are playing right now tonight as we speak, those are the two teams. Once it comes to September, they're going to be fighting it out. They've got the two best pitching staffs, and I think plenty of offense.
Well, there's no question about that, and I think as the summer progresses here, we will see that. Justin Verlander is on the hill tonight, and JV is looking like we expected him to look. He's had a better April this year, Mark, and just your thoughts on where he falls as one of the best pitchers in the American League.
I think you just said it. You summed it up perfectly, Mario. He is one of the best pitchers, not only in the American League, but one of the best pitchers in all the game. He's got what I call no-hitter stuff. You might see something special every single time he takes the mound. And we've seen a couple of special outings here in the past with him, and he's a guy that can just really make even great hitters look really bad.
A.J. Pierzynski pops it up into short left where Peralta is stationed, one gone.
Mark, you had a great career, a tremendous first baseman at the start in Chicago. You finished up in Arizona. What would you do against a pitcher like Verlander that has 3 above average pitches, and he also has a slider, and I'm talking about the changeup and the curveball and the fastball being plus pitches?
Yeah, since it's baseball and you can't punt, I think what I would have to do against a guy like Verlander would be I would be aggressive early on him. I wouldn't want to get him to his off-speed pitches. I'd try to do the best I could with his fastball, and if you try to do too much with a guy like this, like drive him in the gap or drive him out of the ballpark, you're asking for it. I think what you do is sit back, take a fastball in the outer third, maybe try to hit it back up the middle and the other way, because if you sit back and wait for 3-run homers, they just don't come off guys like Justin Verlander.
Does he kind of remind you of one of your former teammates, kind of Kurt Schilling, when you were playing in Arizona when he was having dominant seasons?
That's a very good comparison. He throws a lot of strikes. He dominates with all 3 pitches that he has, and he can throw anything anytime. But he's still one of those proud guys with a fastball, and that's what I would take. His best pitch was his fastball, and I would just look for that and do the best I could with it.
Gordon Beckham, the batter, here with 1 out. We're chatting with Mark Grace in town to do the game on Fox National, the broadcast tomorrow. The Tigers and White Sox will be getting together in Game 2 in that series. Here's the 2-1 from Verlander. And a bouncing ball hit slowly left side. Inge on the charge. And Beckham is out. Mark, on a night like tonight, it's 41 degrees. You're facing a guy like Verlander. Obviously, this is not optimal weather conditions for a guy that's going to have to hit against a Verlander. But Justin is throwing a lot of fastballs early on. Is that because you think of the weather?
Well, I think because he knows he can. He knows that hitters, when it's this chilly outside, guys, you're trying to swing the bat as few a time as possible, because if you don't hit it just absolutely perfect, you're going to be in trouble with your hands. You're going to, those hornets, Rod. You remember having those hornets in your hands, and if you can take a couple of pitches, maybe get to a 2-0 count, turn him into a one-pitch pitcher, a fastball pitcher. But right now, that's not going to work, because Verlander right now is just out there being a strike machine.
Brent Morrell, the batter, and he takes the ball inside.
Quick question about Austin Jackson. Obviously, he's struggling this year.
Love him.
Second year, you're a veteran player, you're on his team. What do you say to Austin Jackson?
I say, Austin Jackson, I worry about earthquakes, hurricanes, and volcanoes. I don't worry about you. He's going to be just fine. The weather's been tough up here in the upper Midwest. It's been a rough go. A lot of really good hitters are struggling right now. Austin Jackson's going to be just fine.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Brent Morrell. And he takes high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What do you guys think of your club this year?
I like him, and I know Rod likes him. I think the back end of the bullpen is outstanding. You got Perry, Benoit, and you've got Valverde. But I think this team, when it starts hitting, is going to be one of the top teams in the Central Division. I don't think there's any doubt about that. That's skied into right field. On the move is Casper Wells, and he'll run it down in foul territory. Gracie, always a pleasure.
Great
it
to
was
see
short,
you,
but thanks for coming
That's
up
all
tonight.
right. That's all right. Less of me and more of you guys is a good thing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Mark Grace will have the game on Fox tomorrow. The Tigers have taken a 2-0 lead on a couple of runs in the bottom of the second. Here's a bunt by Wells. It is a foul ball. They're getting excited, but they called it a foul ball. Wells has hit it all the way to second base. Home plate umpire Fielden Culbreth called it immediately.
A ball clearly foul. I'm wondering why A.J. Przinsky even threw it. When you get a breaking ball on the very first pitch and you've already gotten your mind that you're going to bunt the baseball, that's the kind of approach that you'll see. The hitter had to stutter step there before finally fouling that ball off foul.
Didn't Wells bunt on the West Coast? Was that him or was that someone else? I'm trying to think.
No, he did not. I believe, I know Jackson bunted for a hit on the West Coast. And was that here? I'm trying to think who did bunt. Who bunted?
Well, regardless, it was a good play by Wells.
It might have been Wells. You're right. It might have been him.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. And he got him strike three. Burley carves him up. Third strikeout for Mark Burley.
Burley hasn't been all that efficient with the strikes and balls ratio here today, but when he needs to spot that fastball, that cutter, he's able to do so.
One gone, and here is Austin Jackson. One thing I've noticed about Austin Jackson, Rod, is that despite the struggles offensively, he is still the same kid in the locker room.
And what's also uncanny about a young player like Jackson is he has not allowed his at-bats to affect him defensively.
Down the right field line, slicing. It's trouble if it's fair, and that ball is off the wall. It's extra bases. Jackson on his way to second, and he has himself a double. Right now it's time for a game break. Let's send it back to the studio, and here's Ryan Field. All right, thank you very much, Ryan. Here the Tigers have a chance to add to their 2-0 lead. It's their third hit of the game, and that one is driven down the right field line. Moving back is Quinton, still going back to the wall, and it's going to carry out. It's gone. Ryan Rayburn hits one the other way, and the Tigers have a 4-0 lead.
We saw Jackson go off the wall, off the 330 sign for a double. And then Rayburn gets one up in that jet stream that's blowing out to right field against Burley and hits another big home run. He hit a home run a few days ago in Seattle. That ball just kind of got caught in that jet stream, and Quinton, the right fielder, thought he had a play and just ran out of room.
I thought he had a play too, but it just kept carrying out there to right field. The Tigers have their fourth hit and their fourth run as well. Third homer of the year for Ryan Rayburn. Burley's 1-0 to Maglio is a ball inside 2-0. Tigers have 4 hits, single, double, triple, and a homer.
It was interesting to hear Mark Grace's take on Austin Jackson. Not worried about him at all, and that seems to be the general consensus down there in his dugout with Lloyd McClendon, Jim Leland. They all believe Austin's going to be just fine.
There's a strike called. Maglio went around that time 3-2. Well, Austin does not have the track record as many other veterans, but what he did last year leads you to believe that the turnaround is coming. And Ordonez takes strike 3 as Burley punches him out of there. That's his 4th strikeout. Two gone. The Tigers have added 2 more here in the third. That'll bring up Cabrera. It is good to see the Tigers get off to a good start against this White Sox team. They got 2 in the second. Peralta tripled one in. Bosch had a sac fly. Cabby pops it up high in the air to shallow right. Late jump for Quinton. He didn't see it, but he'll get there. And that's all for Detroit. But they add to the lead thanks to Ryan Rayburn. He goes the other way with a 2-run shot for Rayburn, his 3rd of the year. Tigers. McDonald's Player of the Game presented by the Quarter Pounder with Cheese. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338. Or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Meanwhile, there's some mist falling here at the ballpark tonight. And Heather Nabosny, between innings, had a little chat with Fielding Culber, keeping him abreast of what is going on weather-wise. Here comes Juan Pierre to lead it off in the top of the fourth, top of the order for Chicago. Ball one outside to Pierre. It's kind of an ominous looking evening here. You can't see half the buildings of downtown because of the fog and the mist that has rolled in. Here's the 1-0 pitch and a bouncing ball to short. Johnny Peralta handles another and one gone. 10 in a row retired by Verlander. Here's Omar Vizquel. JV's got it working tonight.
Think he doesn't?
He's getting some ground balls. Only has 2 strikeouts. He's getting it done in other ways. There's a breaking ball that misses. 1-0 on Vizquel. And a ball missing high. 2-0. Omar wears the number 11 for his hero, Luis Aparicio, who was quite a player in his day. Vizquel made his mark, obviously, in mostly with Cleveland after he broke in with Seattle. And for me, Rod, the best defensive shortstop, I don't know, maybe overall shortstop I've seen play live.
Well, you're not going to get an argument from me. There's been some great shortstops in Major League history, but none with any softer hands than this guy.
11 Gold Gloves to back that up. Ozzie Smith is the only shortstop in the history of the game with more. 13 for the Wizard. Strike call. 3-2 on Vizquel. How about that up the middle that Cleveland had with Alomar and Vizquel?
They could get it done on both sides of the ball.
Fouled back out of play.
Robbie Alomar, it may not be the best second baseman to ever play the game, but he is right up there in the conversation. Nice two-way player, switch hitter, hit for power, won lots of Gold Gloves. He's going to the Hall of Fame, too, this year.
Yeah, no doubt. 3-2 on Vizquel. One out here in the fourth. Tigers up by 4. Slap foul again. He'll be 44 in just a couple of days on Sunday. He's celebrating his birthday here at Comerica. 3-2 pitch. Slice toward left field. And straight at Bosch. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at Verlander if you want to get a really good idea of why he is so good and talented. Yes, he has a lot of God-given ability, but he works very hard on his windup and his delivery. Take a look at when he gets up to the top here, the balance point first and foremost, right there. And then he gets it up. When he comes forward, he gets the arm up into a really nice area. And that allows him to get on top of the fastball and the breaking ball and the changeup. But the balance point is the key.
Carlos Quentin cuts and misses. 11 straight retired by Verlander to start this game. Quentin 0 for 1 with a fly ball back in the first. The 0-1 pitch. A little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Quentin this year has 11 doubles, leading the majors. And he came in batting .310, off to a nice start this year. He's been so injury hampered in his career. And even a couple of years ago when he was having a terrific season, that 08 season, he had 36 home runs. Missed a lot of time late in the year. He was right on that one, fouled it straight back.
If he was to stay healthy for an entire season, an entire season, he would be a perennial MVP candidate. He has those kind of skills.
That last pitch, by the way, by Verlander, clocked at 100. And the 2-2. The 3-2.
You go from 100 with the fastball, and then you come back with an 87-mile-per-hour changeup, and you throw it out of the same window with the same arm speed. And that's why Verlander is a top-notch starter in this league.
Count. Foul that one off. Well, Verlander, with his 2 strikeouts tonight, now has 994 in his career. So very shortly he'll be getting to the 1,000 plateau.
If Verlander decides to go to anything other than the fastball here on the 3-2 count, do not hang it to Quentin. He can clobber some breaking balls, especially breaking balls that stay up in the strike zone.
Swung on and belted way back into the air to left. He got himself a fastball and he deposits it into the seats. It's a home run for Carlos Quentin, who turned around 96 and pulled it beyond the bullpen.
A little bat flippage there too by Quentin on the backside. But I guess when you hit him like that and you hit him that hard, I guess you can flip your bat if you choose to do so. He clobbered this 96-mile-per-hour cheese right down the middle. I mean, he got out in front of it, and he drilled it.
So Verlander had retired 11 straight prior to that swing, and there's the bat flip. Cleared the bullpen about 15 rows back. Here's Paul Konerko, and he takes strike one. Couldn't hold up. That is the first home run that the Tigers staff has given up at home this year. Makes it a 4-1 game. Quentin hits his 5th. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2 on Konerko. Bounced out 6-3 back in the second. Konerko in his Chicago career, 362 home runs, good for second all time on their list. Behind the big hurt. Verlander's 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2. Ten seasons of 20 or more as well. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball into right field. Well started in, but he's able to back up and make the play. 1 run on the home run by Quentin. We go to the bottom of the 4th. is brought to you by AT and by your neighborhood Spartan stores. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. Check it out. It is very ominous here at the ballpark tonight. It's getting tougher and tougher to see. That mist is getting closer and closer to the field, and many of the buildings downtown are not within view anymore. Johnny Peralta leading it off in the bottom of the fourth, and he ropes one foul back in his seats. Johnny's had a big game, an RBI triple, and a run scored back in the second. And for Peralta, his second triple this season, which was as many as he hit all of last year. Drives this one toward left. Pierre on the move. One gone.
Hey fans, the Chicago White Sox visit Comerica Park tomorrow at 4:10 with the first 10,000 fans receiving a Tigers wall calendar. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Here comes Brendan Bosch with one out. Bosch had a sac fly, driving in a run back in the second. And Brennan now with 12 RBIs, which trails only Cabrera on the team. Miguel has 14.
He's off to a really nice start. Getting himself in nice counts to hit in.
Here's a question for you. He has only one home run this year. Do you think his start is a product of maybe not as many long balls?
I just think he's not swinging wildly right now, and he's kind of taking what pitchers give him. You know, because with Cabrera in the lineup and also Bosch, if they get Cabrera out, then they kind of pitch around Bosch as well. So he's not been getting a lot of balls to drive out of the ballpark, but he has been taking his base hits. I think that power's there. I watch him take batting practice every day. He's got real power.
Big swing there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's what Burley will do. He will not give in fastball counts. 2-1, nice little changeup, but located beautifully at the bottom of the zone.
And the 2-2.
Kind of gives you an idea of the confidence that Burley has in his changeup. The fact that he will throw that pitch back to back to a left-handed batter down and in into his happy zone.
That's a lot of confidence. Ground ball foul, first base side. Bosch had himself a pretty good road trip. In fact, he and Cabrera were a dynamic duo on the West Coast.
Yeah, they were getting it done. Cabrera scored 8 runs. I think he leads the American League in runs scored.
He does. An impressive start for both of those young men. Bosch with 9 hits on the trip. He has been on base in 10 straight games.
He has forced himself into the starting lineup. Jim Leland cannot get him out of the starting lineup. When he left Lakeland, Florida, when they went to New York on the 31st of March, he was a platoon player at that time.
And he rips one right by the first baseman, Konerko, into right field, a base hit.
You can hang some laundry on that clothesline.
So make it 11 straight that Bosch has been on. One on, one out.
If you're thinking about Bosch running in this situation, it's nearly impossible to steal when Burley's on the mound. He has a great move, and he's also very quick to the plate. Almost impossible.
Pierzynski has not been the best at throwing runners out, but it doesn't matter with this guy on the mound. The lead is short by Bosch. There's a ball inside 2-0.
As a matter of fact, there were only 12 base runners that attempted to steal a base last year while Burley was on the hill, and he gave up over 200 hits.
Wow.
So there was some traffic on the base paths, but you just can't run on it. Ouch.
Yep, there you go. 0 for 12 for AJ this year. There's a strike, 3-1. You're talking about all those hits that Burley gives up. He throws over 200 innings a year, but he gives up over 200 hits as well a year, which is kind of surprising for a guy that's had his success.
Yep. What he does, though, when there is one out, as there is right now, because Bosch really can't get a jump off of first base, he throws lots of ground balls, gets lots of double play balls, gets himself out of jams.
And there's a walk. 2 men aboard here for the Tigers. The first walk of the game for Burley. He's going to bring up Avila. Avila struck out in the second. Burley has whiffed 4 in this game. Tigers trying to add to their 4-1 lead as we play here in the fourth. Driven high in the air, left center field. Rios on the run, still going, won't get it. One hop over the wall. That'll score 1 run. Inge will stop at third. Avila has an RBI double.
The Tigers have a very aggressive game plan here tonight against Burley. They're jumping on pitches very early in count, and Rios is playing shallow and over to the pull field, and that ball he couldn't run down.
6 hits now for the Tigers, and they lead 5-1, and Ozzie Guillen is going to pull the infield in.
Well, with the stuff that Verlander has here tonight, Ozzie understands he cannot give the Tigers any more runs. Not a gift to run by the infield, being relaxed and playing back.
Jasper Wells struck out back in the third, and he hits a ground ball to third. Morel has it, and he'll check the runners. Wells unable to drive a run in. 2 gone. And the infield will back up now. That'll bring up Austin Jackson.
Austin Jackson doubled the last time up. You see he gets the front foot down, and he kind of golfs that ball off the 330 sign in right field. Ball's traveling well in that direction, but a real good at-bat for Jackson.
1 for 2 tonight for Jackson. Double and a run scored. Tigers have out-hit the White Sox tonight 6-1, and they lead 5-1. The 1-0. Fouled away, 1-1 on Austin. There is activity in the bullpen for Chicago as Burley runs into some more trouble here in the fourth. Tony Pena. Tigers have scored at least 1 in each of the last 3 innings against Burley. Ball inside. 2-1 on Jackson. Burley has a couple of no-hitters, one of them a perfect game. And it's hit hard to the shortstop, Vizquel, who gloves it to his left, and the inning is over. Tigers had another run, though, and the RBI doubled by Avila. And it's now 5-1 Detroit. What 4 White Sox players have had a 20-homer, 20 stolen base season? Name the 4 White Sox that have gone 20-20. And we'll get you the answer in a little bit. Chew on that for a while. Here the Tigers are leading it by a score of 5-1. And for the White Sox, it's been kind of a busy offseason. Of course, the big signing was Adam Dunn, but they also brought back Konerko and Pierzynski.
They spent some money. Kenny Williams, their general manager, had 2 different plans at the end of last season that he took to the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf. One would be to add these players that we're looking at right now. The other one, which would have been to trade off some veteran players and start young again. Obviously, they chose the latter. They spent some money, and they believe like they have a team that's going to contend for the division.
Here, the Tigers behind Justin Verlander have a 4-run lead as we head to the 5th on a rainy, chilly night here at the ballpark. Still misting here, and in between innings they had to put some diamond dry down there on the batter's box area. Swing and a miss by big Adam Dunn.
All he has gotten so far here tonight is a steady diet of high-octane fastballs from Verlander in the mid-90s, above the belt buckle.
Fouled away.
Tigers have that shift on in the infield, but where Dunn usually hits his balls, you can't put any defenders. He usually goes over the wall.
Can't stick a guy in the seats?
No, you can't stick anybody where he hits and does a lot of his damage.
He is now 4 for his last 36. And keep in mind he had that appendectomy in April. He missed 6 games. Believe it or not, an appendectomy, and he missed only 6 games.
Big fella. Didn't he play quarterback as a freshman at Texas or one of those schools?
He may have.
I believe he did.
Could have played lineman at that size.
Yeah, I think he was a quarterback.
2-2 on Dunn.
40 home runs, 100 runs driven in average every season for Dunn the last 7 years. Ooh.
Look at that bender. Just missed, though. 3-2. It'll be Dunn, Rios, and Pierzynski in this Chicago 5th inning.
He hasn't been able to catch up to the Verlander fastball, but Verlander has thrown him 3 breaking balls in this sequence.
Guess what? He threw the heater by him. 3 strikeouts for Justin.
He could have did that 3 pitches ago.
No match, at least in this at-bat. Actually, the first 2 at-bats.
Look at the intensity on his face. Head doesn't move. There's no violence in the delivery.
Strike 1 on Rios.
Talking about a guy that appears to be built for the long haul. That would be number 35.
The 0-1. Rope foul. 0-2 on Rios. He had himself a really nice bounce-back season last year. The White Sox took a lot of criticism when they claimed him on the waiver wire a couple of years ago with that big contract. His numbers were in decline, but he came back nicely last year. And we know that he has been a talented player, Rod, but he stole 34, knocked in 88 last season.
Greg Walker, their hitting coach, did a marvelous job with Rios last year. Went to Puerto Rico. They worked in the offseason. They continued that into spring training last year, and therefore the numbers went up.
The 0-2. Got it. See you later.
Oh, he's filthy tonight. Look at this curveball. You can see the grip, and watch it come out of his hand. He just flips it up there ever so nicely. And what makes the pitch so effective is that if you're a hitter, you can't look for anything other than that mid-90s fastball.
A.J. Pierzynski. Line drive, base hit. I was just about to say the only hit they have tonight was the Quentin homer, and now they've got a Pierzynski single. 2-out base runner. And that keeps the inning going for Gordon Beckham. Beckham bounced out back in the third.
Beckham has been struggling. He had the night off last night in Tampa. But Ozzie Guillen elected to start him today against Verlander. Thanks a lot, Skipper.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, he struggled after a really good rookie season. He struggled in the first half last year and then came on a little bit in the second half to make it a pretty decent season. He is a former #1 pick out of Georgia.
He was hitting 199 on June 23rd last year. 199. The White Sox were contemplating sending him back down to the minors.
Verlander hits the corner, 0-2.
And then he got hot just like the White Sox got hot in the month of June, and they went on to be the second best team in the majors from June 9th on last year. So they're banking on the fact that he already struggled last year. He could come out of what he's in right now.
And the 0-2. He got him, strike three. Verlander with another strikeout. And he is in cruise control mode tonight. Tigers lead at 5-1, and you're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Have gone 20-20 homers and stolen bases. There have been 4 of them, and I assume you're looking at one of them. Yep, Alex Rios, Tommy Agee, and Maglio of the Tigers back in 01, and Ray Durham. Those are your 4, and the answer to our AT&T trivia question. How many of those did you get, Ron?
I had Rios.
That's it, huh?
That's
Me too.
it.
Yeah. Forgot about Maglio.
Yeah, Maglio ran a little bit when he was younger.
1-1 on Rayburn. Maglio will bat next. Alex Rios, a terrific talent who put it together last year, although he's off to a slow start this year. That's popped up foul.
Back in the third, Ryan Rayburn played long ball to right field, 2-run variety.
The 1-2. That home run by Rayburn, his 3rd of the season. He had that home run that got the Tigers off to a nice start in Seattle a couple of days ago.
Straightaway center field in Seattle. You don't see many go over that 405 sign at Safeco Field.
The 2-2 inside, 3-2 on Rayburn. Burley gave up 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Driven to left field on a line, sinking and caught by Juan Pierre.
Rayburn, boy, he's all over Burley here tonight. That ball was drilled.
That is the 3rd ball he's hit pretty good tonight. That one was a little bit tricky for Pierre. Here's Maglio. What's your experience in nights like this where you have a misting rain falling most of the night in terms of what the outfielders are dealing with?
You really have to concentrate. You really have to concentrate. You got to get low as you possibly can. And balls that are hit directly up, the ones you might not be able to see, you got to get some help from your middle infielders.
Maglio yanks that one foul. He's 0 for 2 tonight.
This is exactly what the outfielders are looking at. I mean, you've got lights, you've got mist, light sky, so to speak.
Right back up the middle into center. And Ordonez has his first hit tonight.
They have hit some balls extremely hard here tonight against Mark Burley.
They have not had any trouble at all squaring him up. Peralta has a triple, Avila has a double, Rayburn has a homer. 7 Tigers hits. It's going to bring up Cabrera. Miguel singled and scored a run on the Peralta triple in the second. Burley has hit the 80 mark in pitches thrown. The 1-0. 2-0 the count. Burley is in the final year of his 4-year deal, and the question is, will he be in a Chicago uniform next year? He certainly has put up great numbers for them over the years, winning a lot of games, throwing a lot of innings. In fact, nobody in the big leagues has thrown more innings than Mark Burley since the 2001 season. And there you go.
It'd be a nice luxury to have if you're Ozzie Guillen, a guy that goes out there every 5th day and gives you a quality start most nights.
Three and 1. He is tiptoeing around Cabrera here. Let's see what he gets on 3-1. Maglio chased back. Outside, he lost him. So Cabrera gets the walk. That'll put 2 men on, and that's the second walk issued by Burley. And it'll bring up Johnny Peralta.
Well, one thing Ozzie Guillen is not going to do this entire year, he's not going to give Cabrera a whole lot to hit. Back in 2003, when Cabrera was a rookie and Ozzie Guillen was coaching third base for the Florida Marlins. The Marlins won the World Series that year, and Ozzie knows how good Cabrera is. He is not going to let Cabrera beat him.
Peralta again is batting behind Cabrera in this game with the left-hander on the hill. Jim Leland deciding to put Peralta, the right-handed batter, behind Miguel, where we have seen Bosch, the lefty, in the past. Bosch bumped down to the 6th spot. Miguel again this year will be up there in walks. He'll be up there in intentional walks. 1-2 on Johnny Peralta. Tigers 5 runs, 7 hits. White Sox a run on 2 hits. There's Big Brennan waiting on deck. And the 1-2. Missed it high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Burley has not been as crisp tonight with his command as we have seen him in the past.
No, and when he does throw a strike, the Tigers hitters have been letting him know. There has not been many strikes get to AJ's glove here tonight.
In the dirt, 3-2.
Don't know for sure, but I doubt very seriously if this combination of Ordonez and Cabrera would be on the move. But we'll see.
Runners go, swing and a miss, throw down to third. This is going to be an easy double play. Maglio tagged out, standing up. So they started the runners, and it didn't pay off, and 5 strikeouts for Burley. As we head to the 6th inning, it's 5-1 Detroit.
Saturday baseball game of the week. That's Fox Saturday baseball game of the week when they host the White Sox in game 2 of this series. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. in high definition on your local Fox station. Tom Brenneman and Mark Grace, who joined us in the top half of the 3rd inning, will be on the call tomorrow afternoon here. Tom Brenneman gave me my start in this business 14 years ago.
Well, it should be an interesting one tomorrow. The Tigers jumped out to an early lead in this one, and they right now are holding on to a 5-1 edge with Verlander on the hill, and he has thrown 73 pitches tonight.
Hasn't walked anybody, has 5 strikeouts. He has been filling up that strike zone with overpowering fastballs and a mixture of really nice secondary pitches.
And it'll be Brent Morel to lead it off. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Juan Pierre. First pitch is swung on and missed. 0-1 on Morel, who flied out back in the 3rd.
Morel has been struggling just as Gordon Beckham has been struggling. As a matter of fact, Ozzie Guillen gave him a few mental days off in Tampa. That's what Ozzie called them, mental days off. And then he runs him out there against JV.
Where he can play some tricks on your mind. It's not a mental day off tonight, that's for sure. Some mental stress. 2-1. Morel now 1 for his last 17. Last year had a pretty good year in the minors before spending some time in the big leagues toward the end of the year.
Ozzie said he's the starting 3rd baseman. They're going to stick with him.
Ground ball left side. Brandon has it. Morel is out of there. 1 gone. Back up to the top of the lineup now, Juan Pierre. He's 0 for 2. Verlander started this game by retiring 11 straight, and then the home run by Quinton put them on the board. Pierre is 0 for 2. He shows bunt. Strike 1 call.
He's a good bunter. He's one of the best bunters in this league. And it really doesn't matter that the first baseman and the 3rd baseman really crowd him from their positions. He's still not afraid to put it down.
And the 0-1. 0-2 on Pierre, and when you look at his career numbers, they're starting to pile up now. He has stolen over 500. He has over 170, almost 180 bunt hits utilizing that speed.
And he's one of the hardest workers in the game. Really hard worker.
Emergency hack, and he sends one late back into the seats. 0-2. 298 career hitter. There you go. Not a home run, a lot of home run power. Only 14 in his career, but that is not his game. It was that first at bat of the ball game that really tested Verlander. But he fouled off pitch after pitch after pitch.
Yes, it looked like it was going to be one of those nights where Verlander would be challenged by his pitch count, but he quickly got that back in order, getting the next couple of guys out in minimal pitches.
Ooh, ugly looking swing there. Pierre is gone, 2 away.
JV has brought the entire bag of tricks here tonight against the White Sox. Real nice changeup.
Good look with Foxmo. Here is Vizquel. Well, we mentioned that in his last 2 starts, the Tigers managed only 2 runs for Verlander. And in fact, a couple of starts ago against Texas, they were shut out. Verlander went a complete game, allowing just 2 runs. But tonight, a bit of a different story. They got him 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 1 in the fourth. And to this point, that's all the Tigers have needed, because Justin is on his A game tonight. Strike called on the outer edge. 1-2 on Vizquel.
It's not fair. It's really not. On nights like these, when he has this, it's not fair.
Here's the 1-2. Vizquel barely staying alive. Omar's been around so long that he has stolen at least 1 base in 4 different decades. I mentioned he's 43, soon to be 44. And he pulls that one fair. Diving stab by Cabrera. What a job by Miguel. He hits Verlander.
Okay, Big Cat.
Outstanding play by Miguel Cabrera.
Looked like a young Andres Galarraga.
And he took a double away from Vizquel.
The Coors Light freeze cam. Verlander has been dominant here tonight, and you get a look here in freeze cam, Fox cam, I should say, at just the movement that he has on all of his pitches. Coors Light freeze cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Yeah, he's had that dominant stuff tonight. Been the recipient of some pretty good defense, too.
Well, that last play by Cabrera off the bat of his scale. Off the crack of the bat, one step and a dive.
Verlander covering on that play. Foxmo caught it. Bosch grounds one foul, first base side. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 5-1 Detroit. It'll be Bosch, Inge, and Avila.
Grounds crew continues to do a marvelous job on this field in between innings, making sure that the play surface is dry as it can be.
In the air, shallow left center field. Rios coming in.
Every inning they go out and put that diamond dust on the mound, around home plate, around first base, around some of the troubled areas. You can kind of see where they've centered on making sure it stays a little drier.
Yeah, it's nice like tonight where you really lean on Heather Nabasi and her terrific crew here to keep the field in good playing shape, because there's just it's not a heavy rain, it's more of a mist, but it just continues to fall here. And you know, some of the big parts, there's Heather, big parts of the playing surface, the pitcher's mound, batter's box, and they get a little bit wet.
Somebody must have been down there telling Heather how nice the field looks, because she was nodding her head saying thank you.
What a difficult job, too. I mean, it's especially when you come to the ballpark when you know it's going to be raining and you know it's probably going to stick around most of the night. You got to keep the umpires clued in on what's going on weather-wise. There's a strike on Brandon, 2-1.
And to be honest with you, I have no idea what that fan was saying to Heather, but you never in this business let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Oh, absolutely not. In the air. That's into right field for Carlos Quentin.
Hey fans, spend part of Easter Sunday at Comerica Park when the Tigers host the White Sox at 105. All kids 14 and under receive a Victor Martinez poster. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Easter Bunny going to be around here on Sunday too, I heard.
Did you boil your eggs yet?
No, not yet.
Did you color them?
I did not.
No.
I used to love doing that with my kids, though. I used to love it.
We used to do it all the time as kids. There's a ball low and outside.
You know what else I used to like to do too? You know, when I hit them, I used to hide them in places where they couldn't find them.
Like where?
Just all over the house. Just wherever. Just where they couldn't find them.
Then you'd find them 2 or 3 months later.
No, I'd
still eat them?
I'd find them, but I'd get the candy out of them.
Oh, you're talking the candy eggs.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking real eggs. 1 ball, 1 strike on Avila.
You know you did that too.
Yeah, I did. I'm not going to lie. Didn't we all? Alex takes low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, the weather is supposed to clear out a little bit beginning tomorrow. But meanwhile, we kind of trudge through this one. The Tigers behind Verlander in command. This is the 100th pitch for Burley, and it's a strike. 2-2 on Avila. So as you see, the ratio not all that impressive, but still he is out there. And the 2-2 pitch. Driven down the right field line. That ball is fair. It'll go to the wall. Extra bases again for Avila. This will be his 2nd double of the ball game. 2 two-base hits off the lefty Burley.
Really nice plate discipline. Real nice plate discipline. He gets something up on the inner edges of the plate, and he really turns on it.
And Ozzie Guillen apparently is going to the bullpen. He will. So Burley will be done after 101 pitches tonight. The double by Avila, and Pena will come in. It's a wall-side windows pitching change. We'll be back to Comerica Park with a 5-1 ball game.
third inning after a Jackson double off the right field wall. Ryan Rayburn came up, and the very next pitch, a 2-run home run in the same area.
Part of the early offense tonight for the Tigers. They had built a 5-1 lead. And now Tony Pena is the new pitcher.
Tony's got a good arm, but that has not translated into good numbers so far.
There's a line drive to left center, base hit. This will get another run in. Avila coming around to score. Casper Wells with an RBI single. He wasn't waiting around. He took the first pitch and drove it to left center.
That's right. He ambushed him.
And Wells has his second RBI of the year.
First pitch breaking ball that was hanging. Casper sitting on that fastball, but when you get a breaking ball up there, sometimes your eyes light up and the bat speeds up, and if you make good solid contact, you can do exactly what Wells did there.
Casper now has hit safely in each of his 6 starts. There's Jackson. Doubled and scored back in the third. Hit a ball hard to the shortstop his last time as well.
Casper has not been getting many reps against the right-handed pitching. And most of his starts have come against left-handers.
Every Tiger has reached base tonight. With that Wells single, Tigers now have 9 hits. Strike one on Jackson.
I don't know what A.J. Przinsky was asking for, but it looks like Pena is having a difficult time of seeing the fingers put down by Przinsky.
Might be time to get the nail polish out.
That's what I was thinking.
Strike 2. Swing and a miss, and Pena takes care of him on 3 pitches. Tigers, however, get another run, and we go to the 7th now. 6-1 Detroit. Brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Rainy, overcast, cold night here at the ballpark tonight, but the Tiger bats have been hot. So has Justin Verlander. 6-1 in favor of Detroit. We have some changes now. Ramon Santiago will take over at second base, and that will push Ryan Rayburn out to left. And Brennan Bosch is out of the game. Meanwhile, Verlander clipping along. He's given up just 2 hits.
Pitch count in real good shape. 87 total thrown for JV.
Carlos Quentin leads it off. He got him for a home run his last time up. And he drives one deep in the air to left field, and he got him again. Way back and back-to-back at bats. Back-to-back swings, actually. He is homered.
He is one of the hottest hitters in the American League right now. Hard hitting. Carlos Quentin.
Man, oh man, nothing cheap about either one tonight.
Loud home runs. The last one was at 96 miles an hour. That one was at 94 miles an hour. The same exact pitch, same exact location, and the exact same results.
And for Quentin, 6 home runs on the season. Bang.
Different sound.
There's Konerko. Strike one. The 6 home runs now ties Quentin with Granderson, Kendrick, and Teixeira for the league lead.
Granderson's got 6 home runs?
Yeah. And Howie Kendrick. There's the 0-1. Let's make it 0-2 on Konerko, who has had an 0-for-2 night going so far. 3rd hit of the game for the White Sox, 2 of them home runs by Quentin.
Verlander has been a very difficult draw for Konerko in his career. Konerko came in to play 4 for 38 against Verlander. 4 for 38.
Nice. Oh, 2 on Konerko. He has gone 5 years with at least 100 RBIs.
He's their captain. He's the glue to their team.
The 0-2. The hook. Missed inside. Chop foul, third base side. Konerko 5th in the MVP voting, had 39 home runs. He knocked in 111. So showing no signs of slowing down. Konerko off to a nice start this year as well. And the 1-2. He checked it. Did he go? No, he did not.
That's one of those check swings where your body pretty much swings, but somehow he's able to keep the bat back. Look at the body. Open up. Body pretty much swings here. But he's able to hold up with the hands. Therefore, he got the non-swing call from Adrian Johnson.
How about Adrian down there? He is really bundled up, isn't he?
He is.
He's got to check him out.
He must be from a warm weather state.
The 2-2. Little pop-up. Might be trouble if it's fair, and it's not.
Because I have to tell you, if I was down on that field and I was doing what Adrian is doing here tonight, I'd probably be bundled up too.
Yeah, because the base umpires obviously are not moving around a whole lot. At least the home plate umpire is up and down and is more in the game, but the base umpires is kind of standing around waiting for something to happen.
Major league umpires do an outstanding job.
Tough job.
But they're good at it.
Two on Konerko. And a ground ball foul. Home run by Quentin here in the 7th has made it 6-2.
Konerko is a really good fastball hitter. He can turn JV's fastball around, but if JV gets it up in the strike zone, he can get a swing and miss. Don't keep it down. You got to get it up.
Fouled it off. Burley was gone after 101 pitches tonight. Verlander now has thrown 97. Justin threw 116 in his last start, over 6 innings of work. And another foul back out of play. So Konerko not going down without a battle. Justin has 6 strikeouts, which leaves him 2 shy of 1,000 for his career. Here's the 10th pitch coming up in this at bat. Hit high down the left field line, and that will go.
Fair ball.
Fair. It's gone. Konerko didn't even move, and it's a home run.
There's a lot of wind up there. The wind pushed that ball back fair. When that ball took off, it was clearly foul, and that's why Konerko didn't move. And I was watching the ball as it got down and got in that jet stream, and it pushed it back into fair territory. Take a look at it. He knows it's foul ball. Hit it good, but it's foul. Wait a minute. Wait a minute now.
Oh,
wait a minute now, he said.
What have you seen that before?
That ball was so far foul when it took off from his bat, and it just got pushed back.
And it hit the foul pole, barely. So back-to-back home runs here on Verlander, and all of a sudden now it's a 6-3 game as Quentin and Konerko go deep. And Konerko gets an assist from the howling wind blowing left to right. 3-run game. And here is Adam Dunn. There's the strike call.
Dunn has gotten a steady diet of fastballs from Verlander tonight in the high 90s. Pretty much all he's thrown him. Nice ratio with the pitches thrown as well by Verlander tonight.
0-2. We've seen that a lot tonight. 98, he threw it right by Dunn. So he's again in the hole in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Struck out in the second, struck out in the third.
Dunn was their big acquisition in the offseason. $56 million for 4 years.
Another fastball up. Schlereth the lefty, Perry the righty. As Verlander has gone over 100 pitches. Here's the 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Kenny Williams, their general manager, actually tried to get Dunn at the trade deadline. You may remember they got Edwin Jackson from the Diamondbacks, and they were going to flip him to the Washington Nationals in exchange for Dunn, but they couldn't come to an agreement on the players.
Now they have them both. Missed again, 3-2. Verlander has gone full. Still nobody out here in the 7th. And a foul back.
104 pitches in, and he's still throwing 98 miles an hour.
And he touched 100 earlier in the game. This is as hard as we have seen Verlander throw consistently in a start all season long, albeit the early part of the season. Dunn fouls away another. Quentin led it off with a home run. Konerko hit one off the foul pole. And a 6-1 game has turned to a 6-3 game. High pop up right side of the infield. Santiago and Cabrera, and Santiago in foul ground. That's the first out of the inning. It's going to break up Alex Rios. 4 hits tonight for Chicago. 3 of them are home runs. Rios doesn't have a hit, 0 for 2. Wave and a miss, 0-1.
If there is any positive in giving up 3 home runs, it's the fact that they were all solo shots.
Quinton's first one came with 2 outs, nobody on in the 4th, and then of course this one leading off the 7th. Rios behind in the count, 0-2, and it's outside, 1-2. First of a 3-game series here this weekend. Tomorrow it's going to be Penny and Jackson, and we'll have Scherzer and Danks on Sunday. 2-2. There's Brad. He'll get his next start tomorrow against the former Tiger, Edwin Jackson. Swing and a miss, and Rios is out of there. 7 strikeouts for Verlander.
.56 total pitches tonight. Verlander has thrown 95 miles an hour and above.
Make it another one, 97.
Which means his ratio here tonight is a lot better as far as the amounts of fastballs that he's throwing.
Swing and a miss.
Remember that start in Oakland? He was about 50%. 50% fastballs, 50% breaking balls.
He has come out attacking here tonight with that good hard fastball that has been upper 90s, and as we mentioned, at times hitting 100 tonight. And there's a strike. 1-2 on A.J. Pierzynski. Verlander trying to shake off the back-to-back solo shots here.
I saw where Felix Hernandez of the Seattle Mariners threw 126 pitches last night. And big, strong guys like he and Verlander, you don't really worry about pitch counts. Little emergency swing there by A.J.
1-2. Single and a pop-up for Pierzynski. He has the only Chicago hit tonight that is not a homer. And he tipped it into the glove for strike 3. Verlander gets his 8th strikeout and the 1,000th of his career. So congratulations to Justin Verlander, who reaches a milestone tonight.
April in the Retro Tigers team. April in the team. April in the team. April in the heat of our Tigers. April in the team. April in the team.
Sounds of B-Dab, who held a pregame concert here tonight at Comerica Park. As we go to the bottom of the 7th.
B-Dab Sounded pretty good.
It sounded really good. Especially on a chilly night. They had to play with the temperatures in the 40s.
Up here doing my scorebook, getting prepared for the game and listening to a little B-Dad.
Nice. Ryan Rayburn leads it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. As their new album dropped.
I don't know if it's dropped yet or not, but when it does, you know I'll get it.
There's a drive in the air toward left. Juan Pierre is under it and 1 out. Here comes our Comerica Park game summary. Comerica game summary at Comerica Park. Justin Verlander, the 15th Tiger to reach 1,000 career strikeouts. 5 extra base hits, all 9 batters reaching base for the Tigers tonight, and the hard-hitting Carlos Quentin has 2 solo homers. Here's Ordonez. First pitch swinging, rolls 1 to short. Vizquel, 2 gone. It'll bring up Cabrera.
2 years ago, Omar Vizquel spent the year in a Texas Rangers uniform. He was teaching the youngster Elvis Andrus how to go about his business on a day-to-day basis. And then he comes over here last year to help out Alexi Ramirez do the exact same thing and perform very well at third base. And he's still wearing a White Sox uniform. He said he might want to manage when it's all said and done.
I've heard that. And I would not doubt that he'd be a good one.
You don't play that many games for different managers and different teammates and World Baseball Classics and All-Star teams will not have a real good feel for this game.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. You surprised he's still going this strong?
Sorta. You know, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't surprised, but he looks like he's in great shape. And he's still good enough to play that shortstop position. And he'll be 44 here, what, a couple days?
Yeah, Sunday. He has been blessed physically with a body that has been able to take the pounding of that position for so many years.
Before coming to Chicago, he always wore a number 13, as most Venezuelan-born kids do in honor of Davy Concepcion.
There's a strike on the outer edge, 2-2. Cabrera hitting with 2 outs here against Tony Pena. Burley started and was relieved in the 6th. And the 2-2. Just off the plate, 3-2.
When you're batting .338, you get the benefit of the doubt on those calls.
And the 3-2 coming. Swing and a miss. 1-2-3 inning for Pena. Tigers still lead this one by 3. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
against a good, potent White Sox offense, overpowering fastballs for the most part up in the zone. But when he needed to go back to the secondary pitches, whether it's the breaking ball or the changeup, he has a plus pitch in that regard. He's just a good pitcher. He was touched up for 3 home runs, 3 solo shots in this game. But when he's on and pitching like he pitched here tonight, very few can beat him.
The Verlander will give way to Joaquin Benoit.
He's a good pitcher, too. Can really fill up the strike zone with mid-90s fastball and an outstanding changeup.
And Benoit will face Gordon Beckham, and then Brent Morel and Juan Pierre.
Looks like he's following Verlander's lead. Elevate the fastball mid-90s, see if you can get him to swing and miss or pop up.
Well, if Jim Leyland could write the script every single night, going to the 8th with a 3-run lead, and you've got guys like Benoit and Valverde at the back end of your pen, you'll win a lot of games.
As Jim likes to say, they've got pretty good track records.
There's a strike on Beckham, 2-1.
Those have kind of been his 2 favorite words the last week or so regarding
the
offense. Yeah, let's get it. It's in the book.
It's in the book.
Track record.
Track records and book. Check them both.
He didn't say check the computer.
No. It's the book. And Benoit misses now, 3-1.
The skipper.
Skipper was not sure this one would be played tonight. I think many of us here thought that there was a good chance this rain might wash it away, but they've been able to get at it tonight with some wet weather. Another strike, 3-2 on Beckham.
I kind of got caught thinking that way myself because I thought the last thing the Tigers would do here tonight would be waste Verlander by getting him up, getting him back down with the uncertainty of rain. But this window of, I guess, just a little bit of rain has allowed us to play 7 innings.
And 42-degree weather right now. In the air toward right field. Playable for Wells. 1 out.
Speaking of the skipper, as soon as the game ends, stay with us for Tigers Live. We'll go to the clubhouse and hear from Jim, and we'll hear from the players. Plus, we'll show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios and here at the ballpark immediately after the game on Fox Sports Detroit. They even allow us a small cameo on that show.
Well, where were we? Seattle? Oh, you mean on a nightly basis?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got to host it in Seattle. We were the stars that night.
At least we felt that way.
Yeah, there's a big difference. 0-1 on Brent Morel. Well, hopefully we'll be talking about some good things tonight. Verlander was, for the most part, dominant this evening with 8 strikeouts.
I'm sure we'll hear from him.
1 ball, 1 strike on Morel. 0 for 2 for the third baseman. Here's the 1-1. 95 from Joaquin Benoit. And he's ahead now, 1-2. Missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Lloyd McClendon was telling me on that last road trip that he feels like Benoit has one of the best changeups of any of the right-handers the Tigers have had since Fernando Rodney.
Really?
And he even compared the changeup comparable to Rodney's changeup. I was so busy watching him spot that 93, 94 mile per hour fastball inside and outside, I didn't really take notice of the plus changeup.
Well, if it's getting compared to Rodney's, that's pretty impressive. And the 2-2 in the air to center field on a line. Jackson comes on to make the play.
He gets great jumps in the outfield and takes superior routes to get to the ball. Off at the crack of the bat, and he made that play look easy.
There doesn't appear to be a ball that gives him trouble, whether it's hit over his head, to his left, to his right, coming in. He is equally adept at all of those.
Good basketball player in high school. Some good physical skills, good agility, good athlete.
Pierre whacks one back out of play. 0-1. Juan tonight is 0 for 3. Here's the 0-1.
Left-handers, very little success against Benoit. And that kind of speaks to that changeup that I was talking about a couple of batters ago.
Lifted foul. 1-2. Under 100 left-handed batters against Benoit.
Let's take a look at this pitch. Down in the strike zone, 83 miles an hour. You can't get hurt down there.
And the 1-2. Threw his bat at it. Rolled it slowly towards second, and no chance for Santiago.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Oh, my goodness. He literally threw his bat at it. Literally.
All he could do was laugh about that. His hands are hurting, too, though. Talk about getting in your kitchen. He'll take it, though. Watch this. Take a look at this. He like, ouch.
That's an infield hit for Pierre. So it keeps the inning going now. Here's Vizquel. 5 hits for Chicago as Vizquel bunts one foul.
That's a smart play by Vizquel. 2 outs. He does not have a home run this year. But what he was trying to do is get to Carlos Quentin with 2 runners on. That's why he has a chance to manage at some point in time. He's a smart player.
You got the beef and Quentin, Konerko, and Dunn lurking. And it would benefit Benoit to get Vizquel here and not have to deal with him with runners on base in a 3-run game. Lifted in the air. This will get him out of the inning. Rayburn is under it. And the side retired. No runs. An infield hit. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of your Detroit Tigers. Bottom of the 8th coming up here. Tigers on top 6-3 tonight in game 1 in this 3-game weekend set against the White Sox. Johnny Peralta leading it off, and Santiago Van Inge. Johnny 1 for 3 tonight, was part of that early scoring. Tripled in a run back in the second. They gave Verlander 6 runs to work with tonight, and Justin was really good this evening, aside from a couple of home run balls to Carlos Quentin and 1 to Konerko. Driven to right field, base hit. Johnny goes the other way, a leadoff single.
That's what Lloyd McClendon has been trying to get Johnny to do. And it started in spring training, and it's continued here the first month of the season, and that's take some of those inside fastballs and keep your hands inside and lace it the opposite way.
And as he does that, it gives the Tigers their 10th hit of the day. So we'll see if Santiago is entertaining thoughts of bunting. Tigers have a 3-run lead.
Jim can go a couple of different ways here. He can simply sacrifice, as you mentioned, or they can take a shot at a hit and run here.
No sign of bunt and a strike call. Now we saw Pena throw over before throwing a pitch to Santiago. Is that designed to see if the hitter will tip?
That's exactly why they do that. But good professional hitters like Santiago, they kind of know the drill. They kind of know the pitcher is going to try to do that, so they try not to tip their hand. Another quick throw over to see whether he may have been flinching as to getting into a bunt position.
AJ's got the fingers taped up now. Now the bunt. First base side, Pena will handle it. Sacrifice moves the runner up.
That's what Jim does. First pitch, had it been a fastball, he was going to let Santiago take one swipe at it. Obviously, it wasn't a good pitch to hit. And then he finally pitched the bunt on him the third pitch. I've seen the fingernails painted before, partner, but I don't think I've seen the fingers painted all the way up to the knuckles.
No. In fact, I thought it was tape, but it's not. You're right.
Or is it chalk? Is it paint? I told you a couple of innings ago that Pena was having a difficult time of seeing the signs put down by AJ.
It's like paint. Ball 1 to Brandon. Tigers would love to get this run in here, make it a 4-run spread going to the 9th. In Joe for 2 has a walk that came in his middle at bat in the 4th. Now the 1-0. Valverde in the 9th inning will face Quentin, Konerko, and Dunn. Papa Grande warming up, actually watching the action right now. In the air, center field. Rios moving over. And Peralta goes nowhere. 2 away in the Tigers' 8th. Now Alex Avila, who's had himself a nice night. 2 doubles, an RBI, a run scored.
I don't know if they're going to put him on or not, but they have to consider not really giving Avila anything to hit here with the base open, 2 outs, and the right-handed Casper Wells in the on-deck circle.
Yep, they're putting him on. Not only do they consider it, they will implement that strategy. So Avila with his 2 doubles will be getting the intentional pass, and they'll deal with Casper Wells.
The first pitch that Pena threw coming into this game, it was to Casper Wells, and Wells ambushed him with a solid single into the outfield, and he drove in the 6th run of the day for the Tigers.
It's the first time in Alex Avila's young career that he's been walked intentionally. And there's ball 4. So give Casper Wells another opportunity. He came through back in the 6th with an RBI single.
If you're Casper, you have to sit on the fastball. You've already hit the breaking ball, even though it was a hanging breaking ball that you hit from Pena. You have to think that he's going to try to make an adjustment and throw you a fastball. And if he decides to throw you a breaking ball, if it's not up, you simply take it.
Ground ball to third. Fair ball. Out of the reach of the diving third baseman Morrell. This will get a run in. Wells going to second base. He is in with a double. Casper's second RBI of the night.
Well, he foiled the strategy. The second consecutive bat, he went up there looking for a fastball. This time he got a changeup in the mid-80s, and it sped his bat up, and he was able to hook that ball past Morrell, diving down at third base.
So it's now a 4-run game. Third
Pena,
RBI of the season for Wells.
Sorry about that. Pena's thrown a lot of off-speed pitches since coming into the game. I always thought he was a real hard thrower in the mid-90s.
Austin Jackson will get another at bat. He's 1 for 4. Bottom of the Tigers lineup doing some good work. Avila on base 3 times with an RBI. Wells has knocked in 2. Good block by Brzezinski. 2 balls, no strikes. Jackson with an opportunity to pick up some RBIs. Avila at third, Wells at second. In the air toward right field, slicing. Heading back with the seats out of play. Two and one on Jackson. 11 hits for the Tigers. 6 have been for extra bases. And the 2-1. 3-1 on Jackson. Two RBIs tonight for Rayburn on a homer, and he's waiting on deck. 2 RBIs tonight for Wells. Peralta, Bosch, and Avila have the other runs driven in. He lost in ball 4. Jackson is on again. That's going to load the bases.
Jackson starting to see the baseball a little bit better. He doubled earlier in the game, hit a bullet to the shortstop of Vizquel in one of his at-bats, and then the base on balls here in the 8th. Showing signs of coming out of the early season woes offensively.
Now Rayburn with the bases loaded. And he drives one to left field, base hit. Avila scores. Here comes Wells. They'll round him at third. He will score. And it's a 2-run single for Ryan Rayburn.
Even though that ball was hit sharply off the bat of Ryan Rayburn, Gene Lamont, third base coach, knows that Pierre doesn't throw well in left field. Therefore, he did not hesitate, continuing to wave Wells home.
Tigers breaking it open here. It's a 9-3 ball game with 3 runs in the 8th. Here comes Ordonez. And Pena pours in a fastball strike.
With that base hit by Rayburn and now the 6-run spread, Valverde has sat down. And Villarreal has gotten up. But he's not close. He just started.
Ball 1 to Maglio. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ordonez 1 for 4. Tigers tonight 5 for 9 with men in scoring position. They have broken it open with 3 here in the 8th. And the 1-1. Ground ball to short. Vizquel has it there and flips for the force to retire the side. Big inning, though. Tigers get 3 runs. They send 8 men to the plate.
Can pitch.
They can, can't they?
They've got some good arms on their 25-man roster.
Jose Valverde will come on now, and he will throw here in the 9th inning.
Villarreal got up a little late and was not loose enough to come into the game with a 6-run spread, but Valverde was already hot, anticipating a save situation. So Jim Leland wisely decided not to bring Villarreal in and stick with Valverde.
So Villarreal puts the jacket on and sits back down. And now Papa Grande will try and put this one in the win column here. Tigers lead it by 6, and he will face the heavy artillery in the Chicago lineup. Carlos Quentin leads it off. A couple of home runs tonight, both solo shots. Numbers 5 and 6 on the year for Quentin. And Valverde replaces Joaquin Benoit, who threw the 8th inning. Verlander went the first 7. First pitch is in for a strike, 0-1 on Carlos Quentin.
Carlos Quentin stands right on top of the plate. Therefore, he's already been hit 4 times this year, and he usually is among the league leaders in that department. And it's not just his professional career. In college, he got hit a lot, too.
Ground ball, foul, first base side. No balls, 2 strikes.
2 solo shots in the game by Carlos Quentin. The first one in the 4th. It was a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, 3-2 count. Tremendous bat speed through the zone, and he drilled it. Next time up in the 7th, a 94-mile-per-hour fastball in the exact same spot.
And the same result. That tightened the game up a little bit. The Tigers, after the Konerko home run, saw their lead shaved to 3. It's back up to 6 now. Here's the 0-2 and a bouncing ball to third. Inge will throw out Quentin. 1 out. By the way, a tip of the cap tonight to these hardy fans out here that have sat through the misty rain and the 40-degree weather. 23,000 strong in the ballpark tonight.
Some of the best fans in the country, without a doubt.
And they've been able to brave the chilly weather with their umbrellas and their jackets, their rain gear. One out, and here comes Konerko. And he looks at strike one.
If you're Papa Grande in this situation with a big lead, you just want to throw the least amount of pitches possible. And just in case you may be needed tomorrow in the same situation, although a save situation tomorrow.
Pulled foul third base side. 0-2 on Konerko, who hit a ball that appeared to be a foul ball in his last at bat. In fact, Konerko didn't even move and then realized that might get back fair, and it did. It hit the foul pole. And it was a home run. Fifth home run of the year for Konerko. Here's a base hit to left. Second hit of this ball game. Time now for the Farmers Insurance report card. As Adam Dunn comes strolling in. Adam Dunn, 1,461 career games played, which is the most among active players without reaching the postseason.
He's had 3 stops: Cincinnati, briefly in Arizona, and then for the Washington Nationals.
Tigers with a win here tonight would move back up to 500 at 10-10.
Maybe a little bit of an adjustment for Dunn, being a designated hitter for the first time in his career, first time playing in the American League, but playing in that home ballpark, Mario, that he plays in.
Well, that's just it.
You can write 40 down.
Yeah, I mean that is a launching pad in Chicago. Swing and a miss.
Right now, he's a little tardy on fastballs that have been thrown to him tonight, though. Verlander and Valverde.
Verlander struck him out twice and also got him to pop up. Tried to hold up, could not do it. 1-2. Dunn is now 4 for his last 38. Average down to 167. Swing and a miss. Down he goes again. He fans for the 3rd time tonight. Well, you can follow the Tigers with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or check it out online at Tigers.com. One more out to get. The crowd of 23,537 on its feet right now. Alex Rios, the batter, and he pops it up. Shallow right field. Casper Wells is there, and game 1 of the series is won by the Tigers.
Nice job by Papa Grande to finish it off with just 11 pitches, but overall a tremendous effort tonight by the Detroit Tigers on both sides of the ball.
And so the Tigers get back up to 500 with their 10th victory of the season. They come back home and start the homestand with a nice win over Chicago. We'll be back with much more. 9-3 your final score tonight from Comerica.